every culture, every culture has at its core a set of values that determine that core. I don't care whether it's the Ku Klux Klan or whether it's the some biker club or Kiwanis or Lions or any other group, a young women's group. They all have a set of values, and from those values, they develop a a rules book of what things you can do and can't do, and that's called a code of ethics. Okay. Now, out of these 7 values, I've developed an ethic and morality that is universal to all people for all time, and is irreducible and immutable. Okay. The business consultants, ethics consultants that I have spoken to say that they espouse certain ethical principles. So an ethical principle is to be fair in business, okay? To treat everyone equally. And that's a core value, right? But to be fair, they point to fair practices. A ethical principle is really, in fact, an interpretation of one or more of the core values of humans. And if you do your research and look up how many theories of human motivation that exist, you'll find, oh, probably about 24, and they're all different. But none of them could point to the values that support ethical principles, ethical living. If you don't have permanent, universal, timeless values that humans go by, then you will not have a timeless and universal ethic or code of morality. In my use of the terms here, ethics has to do with the state of and condition of relationships and how we interact in relationships. That's it. Okay. Morality has to do with life and living and the conditions thereof. Okay. And those are points of great contention between ethicists. So for really ethical business practices to be written, they would need to be supported by the 7 values, because they are the 7 values that humans use to sustain our species for over 200,000 years. And if you abide by the code of ethics of these values and the code of morality of these values, you would not have inequality. Okay? And eventually AI is going to figure that out. And people are going to ask for recommendations from AI for their decisions.
That is a wonderful future.
That will be the undoing of business as we know it now. We, in fact, in this time, we got about 10 minutes left, in this time of this year and so on, we live in a highly materialistic society and culture.
Yeah.
But many of us are moving and have moved into a post-materialistic perspective of life and living. This is moving away from materialism, which is a destroyer of our world. In the name of materialism, to gain profits, we are mining our world into oblivion. And also at the same time, we are polluting our world with the refuse and refuse of industry and living. The plastics, inundation of plastics around the world, and now found in our own bodies, and animals and fish we eat, and vegetables and so on, is a point of discussion now, and people are saying this is not right. What they're saying is that it's unethical to pollute our world, because in the end, it will decrease our ability to grow crops and to use the world as a friendly place to live.
So may I ask then, are you suggesting that AI can get us to the stage 3 democracy that is an ethical, socially sustainable, kind place to be in?
Yes. We will use AI as a helpmate of humanity, and mechanically as the means of processing, gathering the opinions and preferences of hundreds of millions of people every day. Okay? So we have the mechanical and electronic means to do so, and we're gaining the intelligence, the ethical and moral intelligence of AI, of evolved AI, to assist us to make those right decisions.
Daniel, I have one last good question there, because you made me aware of a tool called the Vocalize Digital Democracy and Participative Budgeting Tool in Swansea, Wales, that was doing exactly that, creating a tool to get all the preferences of humans. But then it had the additional one of linking those priorities, the most highly rated priorities, to budgets, to local budgets. And so I want to ask you this. Many of us say we can't do the work that we need to do, the learning centers for sustainable families, living according to co-creative design teams or local design teams, because we don't have access to funds. How would you say to people that they should go about doing these socially sustainable things when we are moving into a time of possible collapse, when there'll be even fewer resources available? How can AI and your teachings about social sustainability get us where we need to be in a stage 3 democracy?
Here's the rub. Okay, every society has a certain social inertia and cultural inertia to it. It takes time to bend the trajectory of that culture. I have said on my business card that I am a cultural provocateur. I am a cultural provocateur because I am soliciting, supporting culture change, peaceful culture change. Okay, if you don't have peaceful culture change, then you'll just end up with more violence and more corruption and so on. In fact, a violent culture change gives power to those people who would abuse it. This is a slow process. Overcoming social and cultural inertia it takes time. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. We'd be very fortunate to see the beginnings of that in 2 years. And we should see some significant development within 10 years and major development in 20 years. In the meantime, our world is going to go through hell and back again, principally because of overpopulation, economic inequalities, and so on. AI will be able to tell us that really the 1%, 99% equity divide is immoral. Truly is. Okay.
Yes.
But AI will also help us gather all the people in votes and opinionating to influence legislative individuals. And in the meantime, while this is happening every 2 years, we get to elect some new people who espouse the same principles as we do, the same ethical, equitable principles as we do. In a democracy, this is a slow process. In a violent nation that is throwing democracy out, it's still a slow process because then they have much ground to make up. I am not in favor of violence in any democracy. It is, you know, the people we elect eventually become very cagey. They become very conniving and manipulative. And I truly think the citizens are smarter than they are. And if we get our act together through technology and software that is also altruistic and ethical and holds high standards for its performance, we will have more influence eventually than those politicians who want to retain their power and their influence.
So you are really telling us that we should become big citizen, as you called it earlier, that ordinary human beings must not only become better beings themselves, but become big citizen to big politics and big business.
Big public. Yep.
Big public, yes.
Yeah. And, when you read the works of Paine and Franklin,
Yes.
Jefferson, remember the pamphlets that they handed out? Common Sense? Hello. We could do the same thing.
Yeah.
We also have, so what we don't have, we have social media in its various vicious forms, but we don't have an ethical, moral public media that provides a medium of interaction between local communities and design teams. Yes, which is another process of democracy that must originate from local communities, empowering local citizens to participate effectively through group action, through group thinking, with using a procedure for answering political, social, economic questions. There are just millions of very smart people out there waiting to share their opinions with other individuals. And through group action in a design team, they can come to rational decisions rather than rabble-rousing MAGA type of opinion making.
Thank you so much, Daniel, because that how to initiate a local design team is what people can see when they read your books, which are available for free at the moment on your Google Daniel Raphael site. So if anybody wants to see Daniel's work, there we go. We can see it. There it is. Google.com.
Yep.
Daniel Raphael, 50 books that teach us how to move towards the stage 3 democracy using these 7 values, minimum values of social sustainability that have guided human beings for, as you say, 200,000 years, more than 8,000 generations.
Yes.
Any other messages?
That little logo you see?
Yes.
I devised that in about 1975. And it is trust, confidence, and honesty. These are the things that tell us that which is right.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I hope people will be encouraged to go through those amazing works of yours and to summarize them so that they're available to all of us.
Maybe we can do this again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hey, you still have electricity.
It's probably going to go right now.